Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Keely Ogden. I'm a writer and I am the Vampire Girl. Before we get into any reviews or discussions, I just wanted to make this video to introduce myself, my content, and tell you a little bit about how I got to be here. With a name like the Vampire Girl, the first question I often get is, why? Why vampires? There's so many other varied mythologies from all around the world. Well, I do love mythology from all around the world. From kappas to chimeras, fairies to gods, I eat it up. I love learning about different cultures, and I am of the opinion that you can tell a lot about a culture by their monsters and morality tales. Still, vampires have always held the top spot for me. Vampires or vampire-like beings are found in cultures all around the world, from China to Africa to the tribes of Native America. No matter where you turn on the earth, you will be faced with a seductive, horrifying monster. The dark vampire overlords seem to have had a plan for me from the beginning. The first movie my parents watched as a couple was the 1992 classic Buffy the Vampire Slayer. 5 years later, the Joss Whedon-produced series of the same name would air. Somewhere in between that time, my parents got married and birthed a weird hellspawn. My mom loved Buffy, both the movie and the TV show. Some of my earliest memories were sitting with her on the couch, watching this badass teen kill the undead. What I loved most about the show was that the monsters looked just like us. They were charming and inviting, and they hid in plain sight. But when it was time to feed, the facade fell away. They turned into hideous, terrifying beasts. That was a lot for a child. If you ask her now, my mom will say that she regrets raising her children on Buffy and Charmed and Scooby-Doo and etc., etc. But it's all in good fun. I'm glad I became the weird, spooky, fang-loving nerd that I am today. We can't totally blame Buffy for my descent into vampire madness. I became a fan of Bram Stoker's Dracula while I was still in early elementary school. My dad was a fan of classic literature, and Dracula was one of the very first great illustrated classics that I ever received. I was instantly in love with the story and the excitement that I felt reading it. I still credit Dracula as one of my biggest inspirations. It set me on the path to become a writer and also started my love of theater. For my 8th birthday, my mom took me to see a stage adaptation of Dracula at our local college. So if she says she never fed my obsession, she's lying. Since then, I have acquired 7 copies of the book. This includes the great illustrated classic that started it all, 2 hardbacks, a paperback, a manga, a comic book, and the audiobook, which is narrated by Tim Curry and Alan Cummings and a full cast, and is so good, I could cry. So good. I also have a companion novel, Renfield's Slave of Dracula, written by Barbara Hambly, as well as 2 sequel novels, Anno Dracula by Kim Newman and Dracula's Child by J.S. Barnes. Safe to say, I really, really, really love Dracula. I have experienced the vampire in many forms, and I hope to experience them in many more. Through the course of this channel, I want to share those stories with you, as well as my excitement for them. There is nothing in the world that excites me as much as vampires. It is my favorite topic to discuss. Next week, we'll be looking at the book that started it all, Dracula. I hope you continue to hang out with me, and hopefully leave with a couple of interesting titles to explore. In the words of the Count himself, enter freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring. Until next time, bye guys.